Welcome, Josiah Johnson, the king of NBA Twitter, the king of Twitter. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I don't know about that king of Twitter part, though, but I appreciate you for the love.
Hey, you're one of them. You're up there, top three at least.
I'm in a discussion and conversation, but I wouldn't say I'm the king. I'm a very humble human, as you know, Matt.
For people that don't know, Matt Barnes and Josiah Johnson, they were teammates at UCLA. Yeah. Go Bruins.
Bruin brother.
But Josiah, let's just get straight into it because, like I said, if you even want to just be called the king of NBA Twitter, the players love you, the people love you, the NBA fans love you. You get memes out and videos out so fast. It doesn't even seem human. So do you have a whole bunch of folders on your desktop ready to go and cut? How do you get them all out there tweeted so fast?
Well, I'm a big fan of Sugar Free, and he always said, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. So I just stay ready, got the clip fully loaded at all times, and I'm ready to go. I don't really keep a lot of stuff organized, just really in my head. So I got a really photographic memory. So when things happen, I can just recall what I want to use for that particular moment and try and get it out as quick as possible.
Shout out Pomona, Sugar Free. You've been retweeted by King James, to name a few, some of the biggest names. To you, what has been your personal favorite meme?
Ooh, I mean, there's honestly so many of them. Probably, I think the one that KD hit a while ago from Boys in the Hood, the scene where Doughboy brings Ricky back in the house, and it's an unfortunate scene, but I used that for one time when Steph, I think, dropped a 50-piece on the Sixers and Seth Curry, and I had to get that out. KD hit that one, and I think that was my highest performing tweet of all time. But there's so many, as you know, Matt, just trying to get these flares out, trying to get them out consistently. So always trying to bring the heat and, keep that library fully stocked. My
favorite was when Rob Pelinka went to go sign J.R. Smith, and you took the scene from Menace to Society. That was definitely one of my favorites.
I love how much joy that actually brings Josiah, too. And Josiah, you have to understand, it really is a skill set that you have. You act like, oh, yeah, my photogenic memory, like this happens, and then people start retweeting it. But I feel like you also do it, like there's this fine line, and you never cross that line, and you get really close, but everyone loves you, so it's all out of good fun, it seems like, always.
I mean, I wouldn't say that everybody loves me. I definitely have some fans out there in the Bay who think very little of me, but I just use them as motivation and inspiration to keep getting these flares out. I like to say I try to keep my haters very busy and very depressed. So as long as I keep winning and succeeding, I know that they're going to be miserable about that. So as long as that's happening, I'm happy.
How did this come about? Do you remember the particular tweet that started it, or the meme that started it, or was it just a group of things? Like, how did this come about?
Well, what happened is I had a show on Comedy Central called Legend of Chamberlain Heights that ran for 2 seasons. After that show got canceled, people weren't really rocking with me. I couldn't really get a job, get calls back. A lot of people were acting funny styling me, as they say. So I just used social as an opportunity to really create my own brand and really just leverage everything I had going out there. I really believed in myself and saw social as a way, as an avenue to really get those flares out and, to really establish myself and make a name for myself. But the thing, probably like 2019, when Antonio Brown went to the Patriots, I used a clip from Get Out to describe his first meeting with Josh Gordon at the Patriots facility. Jordan Peele ended up seeing that, ended up hitting that one, followed me after that. I got the DM Jordan Peele and talked to him a little bit and just thank him for laying the foundation for people like myself to be able to follow in his footsteps. And from there, I really saw an opportunity in a lane to create something special with this stuff. So I kind of see myself as a digital artist and the things that I'm doing, but also like a DJ as well. I know how to get the crowd hype. I know what track to play that's really going to get the crowd motivated and excited. And I just really try to keep the mood light, keep people entertained, and just, keep it not too out of pocket, teetering on the brink of out of pocketness, but never really going over that line.
That thin line. Well, you said after Chamberlain Heights, you had a hard time kind of getting called back in respect, but these days you're very busy. Do you want to tell some of the things you've been working on and are currently working on?
Well, I've got a bunch of different stuff I'm doing. I'm doing a show with Wave TV called Out of Pocket. That's NBA themed, where we really get to get the jokes off. Co-hosting the show with Gilbert Arenas, the No Chill podcast with Gil. Doing some stuff with NBA Twitter Live. Matt, we got some things that we're working on behind the scenes, little animated project that I'm super excited about. Just did a show with Ava DuVernay and Colin Kaepernick and Michael Starberry called Colin in Black and White that we're super happy about, just the response we've gotten for that. So I just try to stay as busy as possible. I got kids I got to feed. I got to keep these lights on. I got to keep myself in the finest threads from Kohl's and another fine establishment. So just always out here working.
Hey, I don't like how you breezed over our show. Tell them a little bit about what our show is that we're working on.
Oh yeah, so it's an animated series it's Magic Stack based off your legendary podcast, All the Smoke. But we're reimagining what your guys' situation is. Obviously, you're both successful NBA players, but in terms of just the totem pole of that level, y'all weren't really getting the LeBron and Steph Curry type money. So we're showing what your guys' life is like after basketball and how you guys are just two great dudes trying to make it in society by any means necessary.
Yeah. Before I get into Kings-Lakers tonight, because I know you are a Lakers fan, a LeBron loyalist, how cool is it that you two still get to work together as teammates just on other projects now after your basketball life together?
Well, people don't know about Matt. Matt kind of had a reputation when he was in the league as a bad boy, but he's just a great dude with a big heart that's always willing to give back, put people on, and use and leverage his platforms to be able to do that. For somebody like myself, just to, he was a little bit older than me when we were at UCLA. Definitely, showed me the ropes, gave me some buckets, actually dunked on me one time in practice that I still haven't forgave him for. But just to see what everything he's doing, in the pod space, entertainment space, and just establish himself as a brand, I think for all of us who came after him want to follow in his footsteps. And he's always throwing lobs up there and letting us catch him and bang out. So just a great dude, great teammate, and somebody that I really look up to. So it's cool even to be able to do this Kings pregame show. As y'all know, I'm a LeBron guy. I don't really rock with the Kings like that, but I appreciate y'all having me on and showing some love.
Let me get to the LeBron thing really quick, too, because you are a Lakers fan. You are a LeBron guy. Do you feel like the Lakers fans have now accepted LeBron and it's LeBron's team? Is that the direction it's going? Where is it at, Josiah?
Well, I think, when LeBron first came, we heard a lot of rumblings, and I'm a LeBron fan, so we moved with LeBron. I think some people have a problem with that. We don't really care. We have a huge crew of individuals. I think LeBron is bigger than the NBA when you look at his following and everything that he does. So when LeBron first came, they thought he was out here to be Hollywood and to be a movie star, and he wasn't really going to care about winning. Then he goes into the bubble, wins the hardest ring in NBA history in the middle of a pandemic, and is able to rally those troops and get it done. So I think Lakers fans definitely have embraced him, respect him as one of their own. And now, we got to win another one, though. One is so close to none, as they say. So we got to go ahead and get 2 or 3 to really cement his legacy. And I think this squad, despite the stumbling they've done so far this season, 10-10 going into this game, they'll be able to right the ship and hopefully be able to hoist another, trophy very soon.
So we know how LA people are, LA fans are. I live in LA. It's what have you done for me lately? Nothing is good enough. How do you, as someone who played basketball but now are on the other side of it, kind of tell people who are Lakers fans that this is a marathon, relax, this team is fine, or are you in panic mode yourself as well?
Not at all. I think even last year, you're talking about a squad that I want to say was like the 7th seed, right? But, if they don't lose LeBron and AD to injury in situations like that, they could have easily steamrolled and probably would have won a championship last year. We're on their way to a 3-1 lead over the Suns until AD got hurt. So even looking at this squad 10-10, it's funny. Everybody says, when LeBron's performing well in the regular season doesn't matter. But when LeBron's not performing well in the regular season, all of a sudden the regular season's a big deal. At the end of the day, they just got to be one of the top teams in the West. I think if they get to the playoffs, nobody really wants to see them. Maybe the Warriors a little bit, but they don't really believe that. So, once the push comes to shove and it's time to really do those things and throw them hands, we're going to find out what's cracking.
This is almost too much Lakers talk for me, so I know we are going to get back to Kings, but one more for you. Thoughts on Crypto.com Arena? How you feeling about that?
Ooh. No, we're not really rolling with that. It'll still be Staples Center. That's just what it is. But the thing about LA, it goes through a lot of changes. We used to have the Fox Hills Mall. Now it's like the Westfield Shopping Center or something. It's still the Fox Hills Mall, the real one. Right. And this will be a way for us to tell if you're really about that LA life or not. Because if you refer to it as Crypto.com, it could be a fade on site situation. Because we know you're not really from here. You're on foreign territory. You're not really about it. But shout out to AEG getting that bag. I think it's $700 million. So at the end of the day, call it whatever for the appropriate bag.
It's the house that Kobe built.
Exactly.
Josiah Johnson, can't thank you enough for joining us today.
Appreciate you, Joe.
I appreciate y'all.